There's a reason most people never become who they truly want to be. It's not because they aren't capable. It's not because they weren't born with potential. It's because they never trained their mind for war. They tried to fight life with a soft spirit. They walked into the battlefield of reality without armor, without discipline, without fire, and they were broken by it. Life doesn't care about your dreams. Life doesn't care about your feelings. The world is not waiting to hand you strength or purpose or confidence. All of those things must be taken. They must be forged. And the forge, whether you like it or not, is suffering. It is repetition. It is silence. It is the grind that no one else sees. That is the way of the warrior. Most people think strength is about muscles, loud voices, dominance. But true strength, real, unshakable strength, is quiet. It's built in the dark, while others sleep. It's built when you do the thing you said you would do, even when every part of you screams to quit. It's built when no one claps for you, when no one sees the effort, when no one congratulates your discipline and you still show up. This world will break you if you are weak. It will chew through your comfort and spit out your excuses. And if your mind isn't sharp, focused, and disciplined, you will become one of the many who are alive, but no longer living. A hollow shell, numb, distracted, spiritually paralyzed. But if you're still here, still listening, it means you are not like them. Or at least, you refuse to stay that way. Before we go deeper, I want you to make a decision, right now. Choose not to drift through this video like it's background noise. Choose to absorb it. Choose to treat it like a mirror. Because everything you need to transform your life is already inside you. But it will never awaken if you keep giving in to distraction, to comfort, to fear. This is your moment to lock in, and while you're here, do this for yourself. Like this video to mark the beginning of your commitment. Subscribe to this channel if you're ready to go deeper into this path of discipline and power, and leave a comment with just one word: warrior. If you're done living a soft, unfocused life, that single word could be your first act of transformation. Now hear this. If you're truly ready to stop drifting and start rebuilding your mental armor, I want you to click the link in the pinned comment. It leads to something real, a system that's already helped over 100,000 people reclaim their strength, their focus, their edge. You'll see why when you get there. It's not fluff. It's not for the weak. It's for those who are ready to become unshakable. Because from this point forward, we're not talking about average. We're talking about the warrior. Not a warrior in a movie. Not one holding a sword or riding into battle, but the kind that wakes up before the sun to train while the rest of the world sleeps. The kind that refuses to be ruled by emotion. The kind that endures discomfort on purpose, that keeps going when motivation dies, that sees fear and moves anyway. Mental strength is not a gift, it's a practice. It's the result of choices made when the body is tired, when the mind is foggy, when the heart is unsure. And what separates warriors from the rest is that they do not wait for clarity to act. They act in darkness, and their discipline becomes their light. The ancient warriors knew something we've forgotten, that if you cannot rule your own mind, you will be ruled by everything. Your cravings, your laziness, your fear of judgment, your addiction to comfort. All of it becomes your master the moment you stop mastering yourself. They trained to control their breath under pressure, to stand still in chaos, to move only when necessary and with absolute intention, not because they were born stronger, but because they refused to be ruled by the soft voice of comfort that lives in all of us, the one that whispers, "Take it easy, you've done enough, you can quit now." That voice never leaves. But warriors learn to ignore it, and you must learn too, because every time you give in to that voice, you shrink, you get smaller, you become weaker, and the world sees it. They don't say it to your face, but they know. They feel it in your posture, in your tone, in your presence. Weakness is not invisible. It is loud. even in silence. So if you want to walk the warrior's path, prepare to be alone. This is not a path of applause. It's not sexy. It doesn't make for pretty Instagram stories. It's early mornings. It's sweat. It's reading when you want to scroll. It's saying no when your friends say yes. It's training when you're tired. It's discipline over desire. It's being laughed at, doubted, misunderstood, still staying the course. You want to be mentally strong, then break the agreement you made with weakness. Every time you hit snooze, you signed a contract with weakness. Every time you skipped the gym, the cold shower, the reading, the work queue, renewed that contract. Tear it up, because your future self is watching you. The warrior version of you. The one who doesn't flinch under pressure. The one who speaks with calm authority. The one who walks into a room and changes its temperature. He or she is waiting, but not forever. You must earn that version of yourself. Through pain, through practice, through relentless inner work, and that begins now. To build the mind of a warrior, you must destroy the mind of the victim, and that destruction begins with a realization that may be painful at first, but liberating in the long run. No one is coming to save you. Not your parents, not your boss, not your friends, not your partner, not society. The rescue mission you're waiting for doesn't exist, because the only person who can rebuild your strength is you. The victim mind always waits for the perfect conditions. It waits for motivation, for a sign, for inspiration to strike like lightning. But the warrior knows that waiting is a disease. Waiting makes you rot inside. And so, the warrior moves, with or without certainty, with or without support, with or without applause. The path is not about talent, it's about will. The greatest warriors in history were not the most gifted, they were the most committed. Committed to practice, committed to resilience, committed to a standard that no one else could see but them. There's a part of you that wants to rise. You feel it every time you're disappointed in yourself. Every time you break a promise to your own soul. Every time you say you'll start tomorrow and hate the sound of your own voice. That's not weakness talking. That's the warrior inside you, trapped under years of distraction, comfort, fear, and laziness screaming to be let out. You let that version out by facing the parts of yourself you've been avoiding. The fear, the procrastination, the excuses, the wasted time, the late nights that destroy your mornings, the lies you tell yourself about who you are and what you're capable of. It all must be exposed, not to shame you, but to free you. Because discipline is not punishment, it's a form of love, the highest form of self-respect. It says, I'm willing to do what is necessary to become who I was meant to be. It says, I don't want comfort, I want growth. It says, I am no longer a slave to my mood, my urges, or my distractions. This is why the warrior path is not for everyone. It demands truth, brutal, unfiltered truth, and most people aren't ready for that. They'd rather decorate their prison than break out of it. They'd rather feel good than be free. They'd rather feel safe than feel powerful. But not you. You didn't come here for entertainment. You came here to remember something, something ancient, something that's been buried inside you, waiting. The memory of strength, of silence, of focus, of hunger. The memory of the warrior within. And if you're still here, then you've already taken the first step. You've stopped running. You've turned to face the mirror. That mirror is brutal, but it is also sacred. Because once you can see the truth, you can start building again. This is where most quit, right at the edge of the fire. When the old self starts to scream, when the mind rebels, when the body begs for comfort, when life pushes back. That's when most people retreat. But the warrior leans in. The warrior knows. This pain is the gate. You do not get stronger by avoiding discomfort. You get stronger by choosing it, purposefully, daily, quietly, not to impress others, but to honor yourself. The warrior trains alone. without likes, without followers, without validation, because the reward is internal. The reward is knowing you are no longer governed by weakness. Every time you choose discipline, you expand. You step closer to the version of yourself that cannot be shaken. That's the goal. Not perfection, not success, but a mind that cannot be broken, even when everything around it falls apart. And make no mistake, things will fall apart. People will leave. Plans will fail. Life will test you, betray you, challenge you in ways you never expected. That is not the exception. That is the path. And the only way to survive it is to be unshakable. But unshakable does not mean hard. It does not mean cold. It means grounded. It means you bend, but do not break. You feel deeply, but do not drown. You face fear, but do not bow to it. That is the essence of true strength. Controlled, centered, a fire that warms, not burns. And this kind of mind is rare, because it takes years to build. It takes 1,000 small decisions made in silence. It takes the discipline to rest without quitting, the wisdom to retreat without surrendering, the strength to carry pain without passing it on. So if you want this strength, you must earn it. You must train like a warrior trains, not just in body, but in mind. Every morning is a battlefield. The moment your eyes open, the war begins. And your first decisions set the tone. Do you rise with purpose or snooze with regret? Do you feed your mind or numb it? Do you start with intention or drift with distraction? This is not about having a perfect routine. It's about having a mindset that refuses to negotiate with weakness. It's about leading yourself. Because if you cannot lead yourself, you will never lead others. You will always be a follower of urges, of culture, of whatever the world throws at you. But the warrior does not follow noise. The warrior listens to something deeper, a code, a compass, a voice that speaks in silence. And every day, through action, that voice gets louder, until it becomes the only one that matters. And that's when you know, you're no longer the same. You've changed. You don't chase motivation. You don't wait for permission. You don't seek approval. You are locked in, focused, unapologetically disciplined, and people will notice. They won't always understand it, but they'll feel it, because true mental strength doesn't need to be explained. It radiates. If you've come this far, it means you're different. It means you've already taken more steps than most ever will. But now, you need to decide if this was just a moment of inspiration or the beginning of your transformation, because inspiration fades, life returns, distractions roar, and the real battle begins when the video ends. That's when the warrior in you must rise. You must remember this feeling, not just the words, the fire, the urgency, the silence between each sentence that echoed with your own potential. You must carry that into your day, into your routine, into your decisions. Because if you don't apply it, if you don't act, dies here, and nothing changes. But if you do act, if you stand up right now and declare war on your comfort, on your excuses, on your weakness, then everything begins to shift. Not overnight, not easily, but permanently. Because real growth is not loud. It doesn't announce itself. It sneaks in, choice by choice, until one day you wake up and realize you are no longer the person you used to be, and the world will try to pull you back. It will tempt you with comfort, with validation, with distraction, but you'll remember who you are. You'll remember what you've built. You'll remember that you've chosen the path of the warrior, and there's no turning back. This path leads to peace. Not the kind that comes from having no problems, but the kind that comes from knowing you can face them all. The kind that lives in your bones, that speaks through your presence, that steadies your breath in storms, that walks with you in silence, and never leaves. So carry this into the rest of your life. Not just today, not just this week. Let it become who you are. Let the world feel your strength without you needing to say a word. And if you haven't yet subscribed, Like this video. Leave your mark with the word warrior in the comments. And most importantly, click the link in the pinned comment. That's not just a program. That's a gateway. That's the next level of this journey. And if you're serious, if you're ready, you'll know exactly what to do when you get there. The warrior path is waiting, and now you walk it. Stay strong, stay silent, stay sharp. This is your time.